Hey, what's good, y'all? What's good, man? The Wagga Bar back in the house. Black Authentic Truth, we up in this thing, man. Listen, there's been a lot going on this week. And man, first of all, how's everybody doing? Of course, I gotta ask, how everybody doing on this Sunday? Man, in Southern California right now in the Inland Empire, it's looking ugly. It just flash flood, it's raining, it's hot, it's humid, it's nasty, right? So that's the first thing I want to say. How is everybody doing? How is your Sunday going? This is that day you got to reset. You getting ready. You probably a lot of y'all probably trying to chill, get ready for the new week. Um, but the past week has been crazy though. So everybody that's rocking with me, thank you for rocking with me. Give me a one if y'all can hear me. Let me make sure. Oh, what's good, yo yo? What's good? Checking in from Vegas. Yeah. So I assume everybody can hear me, right? I see I got a few people in here, but yeah, man. This last this past week, school shootings, rich homie Quan, and another thing, black missing women. Black women that are missing. I've been seeing a lot of that on my timeline. And this is something that I always talk about, that I always bring up, speak to. Many people don't know that I ain't been rocking with me for a long time. Some of my first videos were about missing black women. So, you know what I'm saying? That's always a constant thing. And you got to throw in black children. You got to throw all of them up in there. You know what I mean? But school shooter. So this school shooter, I'm sure everybody done seen it by now. I seen a headline, and we always see those headlines where it said that he had a troubled past. Now they done arrested his father. Him for murder, and his father for second degree murder. for buying him a gun. And it's always a type of AR-15 style type of gun that be happening in all of these shootings. I mean, I don't want to be conspiratory, right? But it's certain things that you see that happen right around the time when it's election time. You see certain things happen and you see certain conversations come up. So in the Black community, one of the conversations is reparations. That's one of the conversations that always come up when it's time to vote. And they just throw it out there, right? But his father got arrested, right? And they're saying that he was being bullied at school. And that's just not the narrative with Black people. You know how they, you know, Black people have to take the brunt of Black on Black crime. We're not allowed to escape the accountability for Black on Black crime. The fire is held to our feet when it comes to Black on Black crime. The fire is put to our feet any and every time and every opportunity. It is thrown out there in the media. It is pushed. Sometimes it's the number one story that is pushed. Any type of Black on Black crime, any gun violence, especially gun violence, we have to take that. We gotta eat that. When it comes to this situation, in situations like this, you get the stories that, oh, you know, he didn't have a father. He comes from a troubled past. Kids was picking on him. They said they ain't like the color of his hair. And that is supposed to suffice for the taking of not white lives, but everybody's life. You know how you say Black on Black crime, or you may have white on white crime. Well, you do have white on white crime. What about white on everybody crime? What about that? What about that white on everybody crime? I'm not even going to talk about I don't even have to talk about white on white crime or Asian on Asian crime, because it's very well known, and statistically speaking, people are more likely to do harm to people who they live in close proximity to. So that's just normal. It's normal for people of the same race to have the highest rates of hurting each other or perpetuating crime against one another. But what about that everybody crime? You doing crime to everybody. You walking into a Walmart and just, going berserk, or you walking into a school and opening fire and taking the lives of innocent people that don't got nothing to do with what you're going through. Don't got nothing to do with what you're going through. You understand? What about that? But you see the dynamic. They start throwing that out in the media. Oh, he was a troubled teen. They make excuses. They always say, tell us, don't make excuses. Don't have a victim mentality. But when things like this happen, nobody is focusing on the real issue, which is, I believe, from the ages of 18 to like 35, that is a threat. White men that between the ages of 13 and 35, I might be getting the numbers messed up, but that is a threat. You know what I'm saying? That is something that when you out in public, you got to worry about. The average person doesn't have to worry about a Black man walking anywhere, or Black people, or even brown people walking anywhere and hurting, just randomly shooting at people and hurting people because, their feelings are hurt, or they're having a bad day, or they have been consistently bullied. Now, I'm not saying it's okay to even bully somebody. Like, maybe he was bullied. I'm not saying that's okay, but I'm just saying, like, in the big picture, look at what they're focusing on. Like, they're focusing on, is he, his mental state. Nobody asks Black people their mental state when they commit a crime. Nobody asks people about, the disorders that they have or what they're going through internally. No one even cares. No one cares about what you're going through as a Black person internally. Nobody looks and says this needs to be studied. Nobody. And, I always said this. I said, why is it that the term Black on Black crime is even a thing? Many people don't know that the media has a lot to do with that, pushing that narrative of the big Black boogeyman, of the Black person that wants to snatch your purse and, break into your house and rob you and sexually assault you. that idea and that stereotype is not perpetrated by us. Now, this is just one of my theories, and it's an opinion, and a lot of people won't agree with me, but I look at it like how they look at black on black crime now today, like today, where it's definitely senseless. It don't make no damn sense how we do one another. It definitely has no rhyme or reason to it. But I think when you look at the history of the relationship between black and white folks, and you say, well, at one time it was open, it was like open brutality against black people by another people, the Caucasian race, right? And I don't mean to just hop into race, you know what I'm saying? But y'all know that plays a part in everything, our daily lives and everything. Many people say they don't see color, they don't see anything. They just live their lives, but you got to put your race on every major important form or identification. So don't tell me nothing about life ain't about race. In America, life, everything is about race, right? But I think like in the minds of other people, they look at it like, or should I say white people, they look at it like, damn, we treated them so horribly. And now they've gotten to the point where they're killing one another. It's like a phenomenon. They looking like, damn, like the people that were the victims of another people are now turning against one another because we wasn't always like this. We didn't have the self-hatred that you see in our communities and how we treat one another. We didn't have that back then. Somehow we went from having a racial pride and understanding who we are and where we stood in the world to having no compassion and no patience with each other. And in simple things, we blow off the head on each other. We go crazy on each other for simple things that you should be able to walk away from in one piece. But we are willing to just go 0 to 100 on one another. But where does that come from? That's another thing that needs to be studied. That's just a thought, right? Now, I want to get to this. Let me see, Renee. Let me see. Right. Okay. So the sister is saying that the FBI had investigated this young man. I think he's 14. 9 months ago, he probably could have been 13 for threatening what he would do. So, a lot of times you see that happen where they have intel, they know that somebody is saying something, they're threatening, and usually they go and find out, especially when it comes to terrorist attacks, especially with stuff like that, right? I've seen where people just make a threat on the internet and they're being funny, but the FBI show up at your door. So, I mean, that's true. That's true. But what I wanted to get into, I wanted to switch gears and go to this Rich Homie Quan. Now, Rich Homie Quan passed earlier, a few days ago at the age of 34. Now, listen, I don't know Rich Homie Quan, but I do know how when it comes to hip hop, a lot of your favorite artists push popping pills and doing different kind of drugs. You know what I mean? And the drug culture in the black community is crazy as far as it being accepted and being just a way of life. Like that push of saying it's okay to be a junkie, saying it's okay to just be lit all the time and be high out your damn mind. That is a reality in our community, and it's a very dangerous reality because there are so many different type of substances and different kind of drugs popping up all the time. And black people look at these things as though they're, it's to have a good time. But you never know what you might be putting in your system, especially when it comes to pills and different things. Like, you don't know what's in that. You don't know what your body reaction, your body chemistry, how it's going to react to some drug, what it's going to do. It could be your last time, or maybe you've been doing it for a long time. And then, one day you just don't wake up. I'm not saying this is what happened in this situation. I don't know. I just know that when it comes to hip hop, when it comes to the rap scene, drugs are promoted and pushed in our community. A lot of your favorite rappers are drug addicts. They're drug addicts, straight up and down. And it's just a sad situation, you know. It's a sad situation because 34 is very young. That's super young. That is young. You know what I mean? And I think it strikes a chord with a lot of people because a lot of people look at it like, okay, this is a person that has everything and they're successful in their life. They have the things that the average person doesn't have. They have the life that the average person doesn't have. And it's like, damn, he's gone or she's gone. But you have to really look at the way that I'm not blaming this brother. I'm just saying just the whole industry, how they push drugs. That's what's pushed with artists. And it's almost like you wonder, like, are they even having a good time while they are a rapper or a singer? Because they're always high all the time. Anybody that's, you know, any healthy mind is not trying to get loaded all the time. You know what I mean? So you have to really question, what is it like being in those industries where you look at these people and they're always intoxicated, they're always under the influence, they always rolling up a blunt, they always have a bottle, they always have a one of those cups, they always have it. So you're like, damn, you're always checked out. I mean, I guess you don't even enjoy the reality or the fruits of your labor because you always checked out. So the youngsters, the young kids, y'all got to really check that. Y'all got to really think like, these people is always high out their mind. Yeah, the glitz and the glamour look good on television, but come on, like what what is it in that industry? Whether you're a rapper or a singer, what is it in that industry where you have to always be high, where you have to always be under the influence of something while you popping this pill and popping that pill? You got to really question that. You got to really question, like, why are these artists always on drugs? And when you really learn about drugs and you learn that it was an escape. Drugs for me was an escape. It was a way to check out. It was a way to get numb for a few hours. Well, I smoke weed, but it was a way to get numb for a few hours. But then when the high come down, you got to go buy some more weed. You got to roll up a couple more blunts. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was really just something that took it took the space of something that I used to do before. So the thing that I used to love to do before, the things that I used to love to do before, I stopped doing them because, you know, trying to find the weed, man, going to get the blunts, rolling up, doing whatever in between. That took up all of that time that I was used to do something else that was healthy, you know. But these people they on harder drugs these days. They on drugs that doctors prescribe. You know what I'm saying? They on Percocet. Sometimes they I think they just said that what was it? Was it fentanyl? They said they found fentanyl in what drug was that? It's a common drug. I can't remember right now. But you got fentanyl, you got all these pills nowadays. You're taking this stuff and it could literally kill you right there. Be the last time you take a pill, the last time, you know, you want to check out and you want to get loaded. So it's just a sad thing to hear, you know. I know allegedly he said that he overdosed. And I know his lifestyle and a lot of these rappers' lifestyle is, you know, they popping pills, they doing all type of drugs on top of drugs. And once again, number one, as a person that's looking at these people as a goal, or you're a youngster and you're looking at this is the life that you want to live. Number one, you need to ask why is it that you have to be high to enjoy your life? If you're successful, you're famous, and you're making money, why is it that you always have to be under the influence of something to have fun? That's number one. And number two is that drugs ain't fun, man. Drugs look fun from the outside, but in the inside, you will become an addict. You will become a junkie. You will become somebody that is spending all of your money on something that's just blowing away in the air, and you're wasting time. And so my condolences to that brother's family. You know, that's a sad situation at that age lose your life. But this should be a learning lesson for not just people on the outside, but for people on the inside. All of those people that are in that industry, that are in the rap industry, in the entertainment industry, where you go to parties. I've heard about the parties, and they just have a table full of different kind of drugs to try. You know what I mean? That should be a wake up call to those brothers and sisters. But you know what? Like, somebody's going to take something from this. Somebody's going to see this, and somebody's probably taking the same drugs he was on, and it's going to be a checkpoint for them. It's going to be a wake up call for them. Like, that's part of the reason why I made my shirts. And let me just go real quick, man. Let me just go right here real quick. Let me get this real quick. Let me go right here, pull this up, and I'm going to share this screen real quick. And then we're going to get into these topics. I got a few topics, and then I'm going to hit y'all with that Black Authentic Truth story, okay? Share the screen. Well, I want to do this. Let me cancel that. Let me do this. Let's get this. But y'all doing all right out there? Yolanda Washington from Vegas. What's the weather like out there? Because out here it's ugly in Southern California. It's ugly. It's been raining and thundering. This is a tropical radioactive heat. Let me pull this up. So I was just talking about that situation, right? With Rich Homie Quan and the drugs, you know what I'm saying? Like, say no to drugs. Say nah to drugs. But this is the store, right? So if you want to cop one of these, you want to cop a shirt, like I said last week, I'm working on a lot of dope designs. I got a few designs I got lined up for specifically for sisters that I think a lot of sisters will like, right? But look, this is what you need to do. We got the authenticness collection, the heritage collection, be a leader collection, right? I'm gonna add some hoodies and some headwear, but right now it's still in the building process. But if you want, you can order a shirt right now. Be a leader, right? Let me click on that. I had this shirt on last week. The streets is undefeated, and I'm coming with one called drugs are undefeated. Drugs are undefeated. And I'm not trying to build this off of, I'm not trying to say like, spark this off of this Rich Homie Quan situation. Listen, brothers and sisters in the Black community been dying of overdoses and all type of things related to drugs for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? The streets is undefeated though, and drugs is undefeated. But the point is that our people have been dying for a very long time when it comes to going out in the streets and trying to live a street life and prosper that way. Our people have been dying for a very long time when it comes to doing different drugs, whether you're doing them and they're making you go do something, or you doing them and you have an overdose, or you selling drugs and you get into some bad deal and you get unalive that way. It's been happening for a long time, and I'm sure everybody can agree with that. You can't even be mad at that. I'm not hating on anybody. This is a positive shirt. This is a positive message. It may seem like it's a tough message, and it could be, but it is a positive message for brothers and sisters that feel a certain way, that there is an answer in the streets, that there is, comfort in doing drugs. The streets are undefeated and drugs are undefeated. Take no L's. The streets gets all wins, no losses. The only one that takes the L's is us. when we think we can run the streets and we can live a street life. We take the L's. When we think that we can smoke 1,000,000 drugs our whole lives, we take the L's. When we think we can get high as hell as much as we want and do what we want to our bodies, we take the L's. When we think we can sell 1,000,000 bricks and go state to state and live happily ever after, we take the L's. We take the L's. Right, y'all? Let me drop that. I'm going to drop that. We take the L's straight up and down. Right? And lastly, I've been seeing a lot of posts with missing children, missing women, black children. Like, this thing is crazy how we have so much technology and we are able to be we are able to connect with loved ones and connect with people so quickly because everybody has a cell phone and there's supposed to be a camera everywhere. But you have record numbers of black folks coming up missing. And I'm going to say it again. I have to reiterate it, that if you're a black woman, you can't just be doing whatever you want to do. I just heard about this story, and this is not nothing new, but it seems like it's starting to pick up where a man just walks up and gives you his number like he's trying to hit on you. On that piece of paper is like a substance that goes right into your pores in your finger, and it makes you pass out. And they're doing this to women. And this has been happening to a lot of sisters. Are you going to a club, you going to a bar, and they're putting stuff in women's drinks? You take one look away from your drink and somebody done put something in your drink. What am I saying? Where am I getting at? You can't live a free life how you think you can live. You can't be out and about and doing what the hell you want to do and feeling like you're a strong black woman and all that. I blame feminism for a lot of this. I blame feminism for the vulnerability that a lot of sisters are in right now, and they don't even know they're in that vulnerability. They don't even know that it's next level predators out there. Next level. You know, all that black woman is a god and all that, I'm a strong black woman. I'm gonna go out and treat myself. All of that is dead. You got real people that are, and Lord knows what their plans is with these sisters. But you got real people out there that's plotting on grown women that are so gullible and not understanding that they are definitely in danger when they're out about by themselves. That's why I used to say in my first video, I said, if you're going to be going out or if your children going out, first of all, make sure you have tabs on where your children are at all times. You still have black people that are allowing their children to just go where they want to go to this friend's house by themselves on public transportation or however they're going to get there. You need to have friends with you. There needs to be a system of checks and balances. As a grown woman, you should have friends with you. You shouldn't just decide to go out by yourself. We live in some terrible times right now. We live in the last days, y'all. I don't think a lot of y'all getting it. And it's just sad that you see it increasing and nobody really gives a damn. Black people more worried about Kamala Harris than all the missing black women. Putting Kamala Harris in office or that's not going to change what happens to black people on the ground level. The only way that can change is for black people to look after one another and be smarter and be sharper in what they do. So that's just, I got to put that out there, man. Like I've seen a lot of missing black women, children recently in about the last 2 weeks. It's crazy, but it's astonishing that we still don't get it. And then even more to that is that we don't even care when we see somebody else asking about their child. We're not even trying to share the post. We're not even trying to do nothing. And it's like, what if it was you? What if it's your loved one? I mean, it's just something to think about. I just wanted to put that out there. Like I said, that's something I will continue to talk about. I got to bring that up because that's disturbing. It's disturbing to me as a black man. It's disturbing. It's disturbing to see that. And you know, like when we was coming up, they would you would see they would put missing person posters everywhere. They would put the missing children's faces on milk cartons. It was something at least there to like, like a safety net. But now, even where it's more technology, people care less. People care less nowadays. And that's just crazy. That's crazy. I don't know what y'all think about that. What y'all think? I'm gonna get this next topic. Go into it real quick. So I got three videos I want to react to. And then I'm gonna get that Black Authentic Truth story. Now, this is Michaela. The video I'm gonna bring up is a sister named Michaela Montgomery. Now, this sister went viral. She was actually in Chick-fil-A when Trump came to Chick-fil-A. I don't remember if y'all remember that sister, and she hugged Trump or whatever. And then later on it came out, they had pictures of her at some of the, the little galas the Republicans be having. So they were saying like she was like staged. It was staged for her to be there and to hug Trump and all of that, and just to show that Trump likes black people. And then the aesthetics of it is the stereotype of chicken at a chicken place with a black woman. I don't have that video, but she's basically like, taking a picture, happy to see Trump, hugs him, your average black sister that loves Trump. So people was trying to get on her about that. Now, when it comes to this video, I'm gonna say off top that, well, y'all know I'm a Hebrew Israelite. It doesn't matter to me what your political affiliation is, because I wouldn't agree with you anyway. Because as a black man, as a Hebrew Israelite, as a man, as a historian, and just knowing what happened to our people, I could never agree. I don't see the fixing of our race and our people. I don't see that happening through what candidate gets in the office. And so, but that aside, I'm just looking at it from an unbiased perspective when I react to this video. So let me pull this video up real quick. Right. Now, she's on a show with a brother. I can't remember the name of the show, but a lot of the points she's making is very solid. Now, I can agree to disagree with a person's ideology, but if you're saying some things that make sense, I can agree with you.
People would come out to see Megan. We love Megan. People will come out to see. I don't.
Start it over. Now, what we're talking about here is her reaction to Kamala Harris bringing out Megan Thee Stallion to perform at one of the rallies. And y'all remember, I think I did a video on that.
Same. People would come out to see Megan. We love Megan. People will come out to see, I don't know who else is local to Atlanta. They could have brought somebody from Love and Hip Hop. They could have brought literally anybody. I don't really care what it is you do in your personal life. Like, I don't know what Suki Hana necessarily would vote for, but I know what her music says. And even if she brought Suki Hana out, people would have came to see her. So you don't have to like go up there. Like, if we're talking about black women representation and you're in a room with a black woman who's vying to be president of the United States, why would you be the other black woman in the room doing everything that we say we don't want to be represented as? We don't want to be sexualized. We don't want to be the girls that are expected to twerk. We don't want men to feel like they can just come up and violate us. Yet you would promote that on a world stage with somebody who's trying to be a world leader. Well, like, this is who we are, and I feel like you connect best to this audience.
Well, I don't think.
Now, what she's saying is, y'all heard it. she's talking about the fact that black women want to be represented in a certain kind of way and not in the way of being ratchet, you know? So why would you, as a world leader, Kamala Harris, bring Megan Thee Stallion up there? Which I agree with. I 100% agree with what she is saying. Like, for so long, the stereotypical view of us has been that our women are video vixens, that they are ratchet, that they are in a way hyper sexualized. And now it's almost like when it comes to the images of the videos, the music videos, life has imitated art. So in the ways that the video vixen used to dress and used to behave in those raunchy videos, now black women actually behave that way in just regular life. They dress that way in regular life. So it's always been that stereotype. Also with black men, it's been the stereotype that we're going to rob you. Are we ready to get into a gunfight at the mall at any chance when we see our enemies? These are the images that have been pushed. But with black women, I definitely agree 100% with what she's saying from a non-biased position. Okay.
The people that listen to Meg or Meg supporters want to be over sexualized. They want. I don't think they want to be
why
assaulted.
Would you put that on a world stage? That wouldn't. Again,
because women like
representation.
Women like
about representation.
Exactly, and women like that exist. There are women. There are educated women.
And they don't act like that at work.
That's her job, though. That's Megan Thee Stallion's job.
Megan Thee Stallion has shown up to plenty of places, like when she went to court and did not do all that.
Of course, because court is not an entertainment arena. But I'm saying
what about politics is supposed to be an entertainment arena?
Donald Trump being on Aiden Ross stream, is that?
I'm saying, what about it is supposed to be entertainment?
Because
politics is not supposed to be entertainment.
Yeah, but the promotion of politics is.
A promotion.
The promotion of politics. When they appear on these platforms, when you go on the Breakfast Club, when you go to concerts, when your name is mentioned at Essence Fest, that is 100% capturing an audience and giving them your platform.
And as you having an audience and being given a platform, you should represent your people in the best way possible. And again, on the world stage, you got a passport. You seem like a well-traveled man. Mm-hmm. You don't want to go to these other countries and wonder why they have these stereotypes of us. Because when they turn on the TV, that's all they see. Black people need to understand that. Other people who come here are not racist because they think black men are thugs and black girls like to get ratchet and have sex all the time. That's all they see. Mm-hmm. That's
So what she's saying is I agree with it halfway. Like the stereotypes that other countries have is not because of hip hop. It's not because of Megan Thee Stallion. It's not because of Sexy Red. Those stereotypes, they already felt that way about black people a long time ago. You'll be surprised how many other nations look at black people in America as a low class of people simply because we were the slaves at one point in time. So to a certain extent, I agree that those stereotypes exist and those people feel that way, but I don't, but that feeling is not from the more recent history of hip hop. It's not from that. It's from how America has perpetuated images of black people. It's because of that. It's because of the history of black people or how people feel or think how they think about us. So I halfway agree with her on that point. And what he is saying is that there are people like working women that work at a corporate office that like Sexy Red or like Megan Thee Stallion, which is true. I've seen it. So both of them are right. Both people, both of this brother and this sister are right in this part of the conversation.
All of same people would come out to see Megan. We love Megan. Mm-hmm. People will come out to see, I don't know who else is local to Atlanta. They could have brought somebody from Love and Hip Hop. They could have brought literally anybody. I don't really care what it is you do in your personal life. Like, I don't know what Suki Hana necessarily would vote for, but I know what her music.
Let me get to it right here.
Donald Trump being on Aiden Ross stream, is that?
I'm saying, what about it is supposed to be entertainment?
Because
politics is not supposed to be entertainment.
Yeah, but the promotion of politics is.
A promotion.
The promotion of politics. When they appear on these platforms, when you go on the Breakfast Club, when you go to concerts, when your name is mentioned at Essence Fest, that is 100% capturing an audience and giving them your platform.
And as you having an audience and being given a platform, you should represent your people in the best way possible. And again, on the world stage, you got a passport. You seem like a well-traveled man.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to go to these other countries and wonder why they have these stereotypes of us. Because when they turn on the TV, that's all they see. Black people need to understand that. Other people who come here are not racist because they think black men are thugs and black girls like to get ratchet and have sex all the time. That's all they see.
Mm-hmm.
That's all of.
So black people, these people are racist because they're racist. They're not racist because black people or because black women are video vixens or they have Sexy Riz and Cardi B's. They have that in other people's races too. They act just as ratchet as black people. You understand? They perpetuate crime and all of the things just as much as black people in their own communities. So what the sister was saying specifically, I agree with 100%. I agree with. She goes on in here to say that she likes Sexy Red, but you got to remember that she's a Trump supporter, so she's pushing Trump. So she's finding the holes in Kamala Harris's campaign. She's and this is definitely a hole. I said it earlier when she had it. I'm like, why would you bring out Megan Thee Stallion to twerk like that? But that doesn't even matter. I agree with what she's saying. The thing about it is, her message is something that I wish a lot of black people would think about. I don't think a lot of black people even care about how we are perpetuated throughout media, how we are shown. No one cares about the image that the world sees of us, whether it's black women or black men. We don't give a damn. We could care less about. We done took the mindset of being an individual. So how the community looks don't matter to us. It's like how I look. Like the image that I project is most important now. Like we went from being a people that cared about community to caring about ourselves. And so I just think that's important. I think that what she's saying, although I don't agree with her stance as far as following Donald Trump or being a Republican or none of that, I agree with the points that she was just making in this video. Yes, 100% I agree that we need to look at how we are presented across the world. Okay, so let me get to this next video. Let me pull this up. I'm gonna drop this one. Now this one is a crazy one. I went over a video like this last week with the brother who he was getting a return call from the fishing business, and the white guy thought that he had hung up the phone, but the voicemail was still on. And it was crazy what he said. I ain't gonna play it again, but he said some things of how he felt about black people, which it didn't surprise me, but that type of thing does surprise a lot of black folks. Let me get this video. Yeah, some of y'all probably already seen this story, at least on the internet.
Ryan was arrested in 2021 for domestic violence, but those charges were later dismissed. And now she's back in the headlines.
Well, if you're black from any other country, you're doing way better. If you're an American black person, then you're a lazy piece of.
The 7 investigators have obtained the recordings that county officials.
Let me see if I can get that screenshot. She said let me scoot it. If you're black from any other country, you're doing way better. If you're an American black person, then you're effing lazy. You're an effing lazy piece of shit. And this is a judge. Now, she was recorded by an assistant that's been dealing with her for years. And because she calls him all the time, even when he's not at work, he basically started recording their conversations. Okay, I'm gonna play more of the video.
The 7 investigators have obtained the recordings that county officials say prompted Judge Ryan's removal.
Oh, he's just I have no use for him.
She's made it a living hell in the past 6 years. I mean, it's been terrible. It's cost me relationships. I think it's affected my health. Can't sleep.
I can honestly say that, okay, I'm not systemically racist, I'm a new racist. I never was, but now I am because you're shoving the down my throat and making allegations that you don't know about. You're telling me who I am and you've never met me. You. You.
So that right there was him calling her a racist. She said, I'm not a systemic racist, I'm a new racist, right? Here's the thing about that. Like that last video last week I showed y'all where the store owner, he called back, he left a message, and he said, yeah, I want to help you, bud. So return the call. I'm returning the call so I can find out what's your problem, and I want to help you. Like, good customer service. Excellent customer service. Didn't know that the phone wasn't hung up and proceeded to call the brother the N-word with the hard ER, saying, I know them. I know N-I-G-G-E-Rs. I know them. I've been around them for 25 years. But the idea that it's just mind-blowing that you could be somewhere, or you could be at school, or you could be in the workplace or shopping, and a person will treat you with the kindness and the courtesy and the professionalism that, you know, that is tip top, that is good. And then behind closed doors, that's how they talk about you. Well, this is a judge. This is somebody that you're going before them, looking at them like they're an upstanding person. They're, you know, a righteous person. They make good judgments. They have to be put in that position because they are a person that makes good judgments, and they've earned that spot. And you're at the mercy of a woman like that as a black person. Imagine you're at the mercy of a judge like that. How she even thinks about you and your people. And you go before her. Lord forbid you go before her for some type of drug case. Listen, that's how I feel a lot of brothers end up under the prison and get out 25, 35 years later, a free man, and was convicted wrongly, because there are people just like that that are in the judicial system. There are people just like that that are in law enforcement. There are people just like that that are in college admissions. There are women just like her that are in control of whether or not you get a home loan or not. And that's how they feel about you and your people. And that's how they look at you. Like you're a lazy piece of garbage. Meanwhile, they're smiling in your face. They're telling you, you don't meet all the requirements. Try back in 6 months. But this is how they feel. Now imagine your life is on the line. Your job is on the line. And you're an innocent black person, and you go before a judge like this. Listen, Lord be with you. May the Lord be with you. But this is what we're up against. And we think that we live in a post-racial society. We think we live in a society where things like this no longer exist. Let me play it again for the people that didn't hear it. I see I got some people coming in and out.
Well, if you're black from any other country, you're doing way better. If you're an American black person, then you're a lazy piece of.
The 7 investigators have obtained.
She said, if you're black and you come from another country, you're doing way better. If you're American black, then you're a lazy piece of garbage. Now, how is it that black people, and this needs to be studied. That's starting to become my favorite word. Like, this needs to be studied. How is it in the mind of not all white folks, but how is it in the mind of these white folks that black people are lazy? When Our ancestors was in the cotton field for 16 hours out of the day, built this country. How can you even conceive in your mind that black people are lazy? Black people built whole cities and towns, had whole cities and towns during the Great Depression, where the government had to institute welfare for white families because, you know, everybody was broke. Nobody was making money. But at the same time, simultaneously, black people were able to hold things together. But we're lazy. Now, black people are a lot of things. I would say that black people are, sometimes we can be emotional. Sometimes we can feel a certain type of way about how we've been treated, the government and all of that. But we're not lazy. Black people have never been lazy. But this is a judge that feels like that and feels that we are lazy pieces of garbage and feels that immigrants, black immigrants that come over here are better than us because they're able to get a foot up off the backs and off of the help of the United States government. Many people don't know that. Many people don't know. Like anybody that comes into this country that is not a white immigrant, they benefit from the blood, sweat, and tears of black people who slaved in this country, who fought and died in this country, and who instituted the civil rights movement and reforms enough for that people that are other minorities could come to America and enjoy life. I don't want to sidebar too much, but the point is that this is what you're up against. You're up against people, you're up against a different type of racism. Racism is no longer blunt and in your face, saying, leave this city, N-word. Racism is sitting behind a robe and a gavel. Racism is sitting behind an office desk. Racism is sitting behind a store desk. Racism is not that you can't detect it the same way anymore, how you used to be able to see it and know it. Racism has become cowardly. Still there, it's just hiding in plain sight. Okay. So I'm gonna drop that. And let's get this story with Candace Owens. Now, Candace Owens, man, Candace Owens is one of those people that, you know, when I first got hip to Candace Owens, I did not like Candace Owens. And I don't agree with a lot of her stance, right? But she's like, Candace Owens is like, I guess she's kind of like a Charleston White. It's like some things that she says, they rub you the wrong way. They don't make sense, but some things you can agree with. And I don't know if that's a good analogy because Charleston White said some things that, you know, a crackhead would agree with. But then he says some things that the average person can agree with. The average intelligent person can agree with. But when it comes to Candace Owens, recently she was on Piers Morgan's show and she was debating, I never knew who this was, but Rabbi Shmuley, who is a Jewish rabbi, and she hit him with something that I didn't even see coming out of her mouth. And I have to wonder, did Kanye West in that discussion hip her to that? But we'll get to that, okay? So let me get this video. Let me drop this real quick. And then I'll get the Black Authentic story, right?
Scripture, okay?
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go.
Scripture, okay? The one that's relevant to me is woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness. And if you'd like to dive into a little more scripture, I think what's relevant is Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. And I'm speaking directly to you, Rabbi Shmuley. The fact that you would try to say me is woe unto them.
Did you just hear what she said? This is crazy. Let me just back it up a little bit. Now, I'm gonna let it play out, then I'm gonna get it. Let me just let it play out. I'm gonna play it again in case y'all didn't hear what she said.
Quoting scripture, okay? The one that's relevant to me is woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness. And if you'd like to dive into a little more scripture, I think what's relevant is Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. And I'm speaking directly to you, Rabbi Shmuley. The fact that you would try to say, I am Jewish and this is what I believe, and do and say the things that you are doing. People can see and hear evil, and what you are doing right now is an act of evil. The lies that you are telling, not just on me, but also on my family members, are a good example for the world to see what we are referring to when we call something radical Zionism.
So Candace Owens is they're sitting there and they're debating about, whether it's holy, whether it's right for the war that's going on against the Palestinians, how the Israelis are dropping bombs on the Palestinians, whether that is even holy or not. And from my understanding, this Jewish man is off the rip. Whenever he debates anyone, he throws a lot of personal attacks, as in which I guess he was throwing a lot of personal attacks about her family or whatever. And she pulls this precept out. This precept, people don't know how on point she is, because let's be real, Candace Owens doesn't know the Bible, right? But she's using it in a way, and it just shows you, like, when with Christianity, scriptures can be used in a different way than what they're actually saying, and I'm gonna show you. Now, when she's talking to him and saying, I'm gonna read the precept. Let me pull the precept up for y'all. So she quoted Revelation 3:9, and it says, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet, meaning your feet, and to know that I have loved thee. I have loved you. So what is this really saying? Well, before I go into that, let me go to Revelations 2:9 for y'all real quick. I'm not actually pulling it up, but you can look it up on your own, right? One second. Let me get that. So Revelations 2:9, it says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou, meaning you, are rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Both of these precepts that I just read, one of them that Candace Owens quoted, she quoted it in a way, well, the point is that they're both pertaining to the Jews, but what Jews? Okay. Now, she used it towards him in a way that it's personal. So it says, Revelation 3:9, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. She stopped right there to make the point that he has told lies about her. He's supposed to be, he says he's a Jew, and he has told lies about her and her family. She put that precept on him. She whipped out the precept, right? But this is not actually talking about an individual. You got to understand, from a biblical perspective, this is talking about a nation of people, and it's talking about history. So this is real history, what it is saying. Now, I'm gonna go through history real fast. I hope that my video don't get flagged for being anti-Semitic or whatever the hell they want to do. The point is that the people that you know today that are considered in the world to be God's chosen people, these people in 7 AD, their king, Archelaus, he decided to follow the belief system of the Israelites. He was in a bind, right? These people were called Khazarian people. They were a Turkish Mongoloid people. Now they had pressure from the Byzantine Empire, which is the Roman Empire, to join them or to join the Muslim Caliphate, to be tributaries to either one, either Christianity or Islam. They decided to not have to be up under neither one of them, is to follow the belief system of the Israelites, or what they call today Judaism. So for more than 1,000 years, these people that hail from Eastern Europe have been claiming to be God's chosen people, Jews. The people who are actually Jews at this point in time don't actually know that they are Jews. You know why? Those people actually call themselves Puerto Rican. They call themselves African American. You know, they don't have an identity. It's been ripped from them through conquest and colonization and slavery. And so this precept that she brought out, it makes more sense from the history, the quick history lesson I just gave you, and you can go and verify these things. The quick history lesson I just gave you, what she's saying, I'm gonna read it one more time so that I can help you understand what it is really saying. It is not talking about a Jew, a person that claims they're a Jew that lied on somebody. It's not talking about that. I'm gonna continue. It says, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. You see, because the world does not know or think that God, well, most people don't think, outside of black people, think that God actually loves black people because of the things that have happened to them, or in their mind, God has allowed to happen to them, particularly slavery. There's even a thought process from the times of slavery where Europeans believed that black people were Hamites. They said that black people, they suffer from the curse of Canaan, meaning there will be a servant of servants. That was never true. Now let me get to Revelations 2:9. Okay, it says, I know thy works, thy tribulation and poverty. You see, God's people in the last days would be in poverty. The real Israelites, or another word for Israelites would be Jews as a whole. Okay, it says, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy that of them that say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. This was written 2,000 years ago, but people have lost so much faith in the Bible, they don't believe the Bible is real anymore. That's because most people don't even care about history. Most black people don't know what happened with their people 15, 20 years ago and could care less, let alone 100 years ago here in America. This is real history that it is speaking to, because the people that today claim to be God's chosen people historically never were. Okay, they never were God's chosen people. And the people who were God's chosen people have through the centuries lost their identity and were cut off when they went through slavery. So that is the breakdown on that. She has a lot of like, I gotta give it to Candace Owens, because I'm sure they are angry with her right now for even bringing that out, even though she didn't break it down the right way. I'm sure they are upset with Candace Owens right now, and that machine, that media machine, and the things that these people control, because they control a lot. They can get you shut down in seconds. You've seen what happened with Kanye West. They shut him down so fast and cut his bank account and stopped everything and froze everything. They have a lot of power. Well, the people that are supposed to actually be God's people, they don't have a lot of power. They don't have that type of power. But there is a people that yell from the rooftops who they are, and they're God's chosen people. But yet the works and the lives and what the Bible say, it just don't match. So I hope that helps somebody out right there. But shout out to Candace Owens. Like I said, I don't really agree with a lot of things she says, but some things I do agree with her, like the abortion. She speaks, she makes a lot of good points. She went hard at Black Lives Matter. I never liked Black Lives Matter once I went to the website and I realized that Black Lives Matter wasn't even about black families. It was about extended families and, you know, you know, alternative life families and all of that. It wasn't even about a black man being in a home with a black woman. And then they didn't help none of the people that they built the organization off of. They didn't help Mike Brown's mom. They didn't help Trayvon Martin's family. Like, this is what it was built. It was built off of black men. So how you not advocating for black men to be in a black home? So I did my research, and before Candace Owens even said anything or anybody, I was like, Black Lives Matter is trash. Now, when it comes to the slogan, of course our lives matter, but the foundation, I was like, nah. So anyway, the point is that she you know, she brought it out. She tried her hardest. She made her point in a Christian way, because I just showed you how you can use, she used that scripture in a way that it would have been used in a Christian church, the black Christian church. But then I gave you the real meaning and the real understanding behind what it is even saying. Okay. So with that, I'm going to go into what I want. I'm going to go into the Black Authentic Truth story. Okay. Just give me a second to get this together. Shout out to everybody that's rocking with me. Black Authentic Truth. And let me just say this real quick. Let me go back. Make sure you go and check out the website. I'm still working on it, but if you want a shirt, if you want to support your brother, go to blackauthentictruth.com. Black Authentic Truth with no spaces in between .com, and check me out. All right. I'm gonna put this up one more time, and then I'm gonna get the story. Make sure you go to blackauthentictruth.com. Check your boy out. If you want to support me, if you want to rock, I got the Black Authentic Truth icon shirt on right now. All colors, all the colors that I be rocking. The Heritage Collection. Let me go to the Heritage Collection. This is another one I be rocking. Strange Fruit. Right? This is Willie Francis. Y'all know about Willie Francis if you've been rocking with me. George Stinney. You know about George Stinney if you've been rocking with me. Billie Holiday. It's the shirt that started this whole collection. Billie Holiday, Strange Fruit. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to get into this story. Y'all give me a second. Let me drop these. Remove this. Let's get it. All right. Daniel Hale Williams was an American surgeon and hospital founder. He was born in Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania on January 18th, 1858. Daniel was the eldest son of 8 children. His father was a black barber and his mother was Irish. Around the age of 10, his father died of tuberculosis. Around the age of 10, his father died of tuberculosis. The family moved to Maryland, where Daniel became a shoemaker's apprentice. He disliked the work and returned to his family's barbering business. Ultimately, Daniel decided to pursue his education. He worked as an apprentice with Dr. Henry Palmer, who was considered a highly accomplished surgeon. Daniel graduated with an MD degree in 1883 at the Chicago Medical College. Dr. Williams practiced medicine in Chicago at a time when there were only 3 other black physicians in the city. He also worked with the Equal Rights League, a black civil rights organization active during the era of Reconstruction. Racism and discrimination prohibited African Americans from being admitted to hospitals and denied black doctors employment on hospital staff. Dr. Williams founded the Provident Hospital and Training School for Nurses, now called Provident Hospital of Cook County in Chicago. This emerged as the first hospital in the county with a nursing and intern program that hired African Americans. This hospital had the distinction of being the first medical facility to have an interracial staff. In 1893, Williams made history when he operated on James Cornish, a man with a severe stab wound to his chest who was brought to Provident. Without the benefits of a blood transfusion or modern surgical procedures such as x-rays and anesthesia, Williams successfully sutured Cornish's pericardium, the membranous sac enclosing the heart. Cornish lived at least 20 years following this surgery. Williams' procedure is cited as the first recorded repair of the pericardium. In 1894, Williams moved to Washington, D.C., where he was appointed the chief surgeon of the Freedmen's Hospital, which provided care to formerly enslaved African Americans. The facility had fallen into neglect and had a high mortality rate. Williams worked hard on revitalization, improving surgical procedures, increasing specialization, launching ambulance services, and continuing to provide opportunities for Black medical professionals. In 1895, he co-founded the National Medical Association for Black Medical Practitioners as an alternative to the American Medical Association, which didn't allow African American membership. Williams later served on the staffs of Cook County Hospital from 1903 to 09 and St. Luke's Hospital from 1912 to 1931, both in Chicago. From 1899, he was professor of clinical surgery at Meharry Medical College in Nashville, Tennessee, and was a member of the Illinois State Board of Health from 1889 to 91. He published several articles on surgery in medical journals. Williams became the only African-American charter member of the American College of Surgeons in 1913. Williams experienced a debilitating stroke in 1926 and died 5 years later on August 4th, 1931 in Idlewild, Michigan. This is the story of a medical pioneer known for the first successful heart surgery, Dr. Daniel Hale Williams. All right. There's some pictures of Dr. Dale Hale Williams. This is a actual nursing class, actual operating room. All right. Yeah, and that is about it, y'all. We rocked it out. We did our thing. What y'all think? What y'all think about the doctor that, now in history, they say there was two other people that possibly did a heart surgery that didn't get credit. But you know how that is. I'm a rock with the brother. I'm a rock with a brother and say he did it first. He did it first. Black Rain 303 in the house. Shalom, Mak. Let me go up here. See, man, this is the thing. Oh, this is another thing I wanted to talk about. And it's not really a big deal. But when I started to look at the analytics, I see that I have about, it's like 80% of the people that watch my videos, they don't even subscribe. They watch my videos, but they won't subscribe. Why is that? Man, listen, don't be no hater. Be a congratulator. Don't be hate watching. Show your boy some love. Show me some, you know what I'm saying? Give me a dap. Give me a virtual dap. You know what I'm saying? What's up with y'all? How you watching the videos, but don't want to, you always on the page, but you ain't trying to subscribe. Come on, man. Come on. We gotta do better as a community. We gotta do better, y'all. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, there was another story I wanted to go into. It was about it's a pastor out there. I think he has a name for himself. He's a white pastor that said that he wouldn't go to a black doctor even if they were both qualified, because he'll look at it like, even though the black doctor and they're both young, they're the same age, same qualifications, he'll look at the black doctor like he got an easy ride getting there. You know, when he says easy ride, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but affirmative action or something like that. But we know, like, when it comes to, you know, being a surgeon, being a doctor, and you're in that level, like, nothing is for free. You want to be a black lawyer, you want to be a black scientist, a black astronaut, nothing is for free. You're going to have to work sometimes 3 times harder than your counterparts. And I was just like, it's amazing that people still think like that. It's not amazing, but it's crazy that our people don't think that other people think like this still about us, and it's not going anywhere. There's so many glaring examples that we get every day that how you going to ignore? You just going to act like it doesn't exist? I can't remember where I heard where somebody was talking about, I'm not going to, I'm going to teach my children. Oh, it was Eve. You know, the former rapper Eve that married the white billionaire or millionaire in Europe. She said she want to raise her son not to see color. I said, it always happens. You know, that's going to come. It always happens. I'm like, but you got to really think about it. Everything we do has to do with our color. Like, every form that you fill out, your identification it asks you for what is your race, your nationality. And it does matter. It does matter how people treat you. It does matter in whether people feel comfortable around you. And these are just natural human things. But it's crazy for people to sit there and say, I want to teach my kids not to see color. Well, your kids are going to get hit blindside, especially children of color. Like, they're going to get hit blindside with the real world and what real reality is. It's going to be unforgiving when they get that first taste of people not want to be around them, or people having a stereotype about them based on how they look, not even knowing them, not knowing their character, not knowing none of that. You know what I'm saying? Right, Black Rain. That's delusional to say that you want to raise your kids without seeing color. No, raise your kids to see color and see race and see that everybody is different. And so then they can just, by that standard, they can just treat people accordingly. They can see people for who they really are. With that type of mentality, you bound to hit a wall. You're bound to hit a wall because somebody is going to disappoint you. Some situation is going to disappoint you and make you see like, damn, my dad was tripping when he told me there is no race but the human race. My mom's was tripping when she told me that. Like, nah, it's a clear distinction. Yeah, we all probably bleed red, but we are not the same. And you know what I mean? Damn. Black Rain said, I got called the N-word when I was 5 by a little white girl and I had to ask my mom what it meant when she picked me up from school. It's not funny. I'm saying I'm not laughing because of that, but it's embedded. It's embedded in there. You know what I'm saying? It's embedded in the children. And she said it with such anger. Kind of like, right, look, kind of like the video I played with the store owner that called, and he said, when he said the N-word, you remember how he sounded? It's like his whole demeanor changed. He said he got mad at his coworker, his wife, for even questioning, how do you know that was a black man on the other side of the phone? He said, I know Iggers. I didn't say the word, I said Iggers. He said, I know Iggers. You understand me? Like his whole, it's like the horns grew out of his head. You could hear in his voice. Yeah, that's crazy. That like what you said, yeah, it's in their DNA, but what you say, yeah, you laugh too. Yeah, I'm like, you had to go ask because you didn't know. Like at that age, it's like that hit you blindside. But like I taught my kids about color. I taught them about racism at a young age and what the real world is. Let me tell you something, y'all. Y'all in here rocking with me, right? Who was that? It was somebody I was watching. It was a sister that was saying that she grew up in Vegas and she didn't, I think it was Michaela, shout out to Michaela. You know what I'm saying? I don't rock with her on that, believing that our community gonna get fixed by the Republican Party. But other than that, I think the sister is smart and she don't look bad either. Listen, I'm just shooting my shot. But look, nah, for real though. She said something about never seeing a black teacher and growing up in Vegas. And I said, that's funny because in California, I had 8 black teachers. And let me just give y'all experience of a black teacher, right? I had teachers that set me up for the real world. Like I was just saying how I teach my kids at a young age about racism, the history of our people. When I was in the 5th grade, I had a teacher. His name was Mr. Pierre. He was like a heavyset brother, wear glasses. He would wear like the cardigan sweaters with the what you call those things? The corduroy pants with like the penny loafer type shoes, kind of like how what's the name dress on that show? Bill Cosby dress, the father, right, on the Cosby Show. And he brought to school one day The Eyes on the Prize. It's a documentary in black and white of the civil rights movement, of Emmett Till's death, of the beginnings of Martin Luther King, and it is raw. And we were like in the 5th grade, and he brought that for the class to watch. And that was my first time being exposed to racism. Now, not exposed, but seeing it. Mind you, it was basically black and Hispanic in the class, but we had like 2 or 3 white kids, blonde kids, And Eyes on the Prize, the part where it got to, it's Emmett Till, like it's showing you the whole court trial, it's showing you his mother crying, it shows you the funeral where his mother, Emmett Till's mother, wanted the whole world to see what they did to his baby. Well, I seen that. And I got a cold reality check at a young age. And I don't feel like that was too much for me to see, because I thank that teacher now looking back, like, you opened up my eyes to the real world. My second teacher, her name was Miss Butler, black woman, black sister, very sophisticated. She took me out with 3 other my classmates, took us out to go see the movie Malcolm X. Can you imagine that? I don't think teachers do this type of stuff anymore. But hardcore revolutionary movie, but just to give you the image. And I never forget the scene when they was in that in prison, and he was asking the chaplain about that white Jesus on the wall. You know what I'm saying? But these are little things that along the way, and I got other teachers that taught me things, but I'm talking about 5th and 6th grade. I got an eye-opening experience to what the real world is and how race and who I am, what is my race? Because I couldn't imagine just not knowing those things growing up. And it probably laid the foundation for Black Authentic Truth and me always want to know about the history of my people. Because Black History Month didn't do it. That didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? But those teachers, but listen, deeper than that, Black people, we are the first teachers of our children. So I feel that your child is never too young to start in telling them about how the real world works and who's who and who's that. Like my children grew up, they came up as Hebrew Israelites. They don't go to the school saying the white man this, the white man that. They're smart enough to know the difference. They're smart enough to understand like what's what and how situations work in the real world. But I prepared them for that. I told them, you know, I let them know what you should say, what you should look out for. I let them know situations that could happen, so they're not blindsided because I done taught them. Oh, you know, we're all human, son. We all bleed real. We're all the same up under God. No, that's not even reality. That's not how the real world works. The real world works that everything is based on race. I go right outside in the city. The city is chopped up in pieces and people live in different areas, different races of the city. Why is that then? If we're all human, why ain't your next door? Why your neighbor ain't a white man, an Asian man, an Arab man, an African man? Why you don't live in one community? Why is it segregated in the major cities like that? It's because everything is divided and diced up with who we are. You'll be a fool to teach your kids there is no such thing as color. We're all the human race. You'll be a fool. You'll be a damn fool. No disrespect, but you will be a damn fool. Yeah, but I'm about to get up out of here, y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Let me just give y'all some shout outs before I get up out of here. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll up. Yolanda Washington, always rocking with me. Keeping it black and authentic. Renee Gaines be keeping it black and authentic. Sister Barathana be keeping it black and authentic. I'm scrolling. Black Rain 303, always black and authentic, always riding with me, sliding with me. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it 100 and truthful. RJ, always rocking with me. You know. Let me put this up here. Esau is scared of the children being raised in their Israelite heritage. Scared to death. And let me just say this. I'm gonna end with this. I know I've been talking a lot, right? I'm gonna end with this. So I was thinking about this, like what the brothers just said. They're scared for us to be us, and we're scared for us to be us. Now, when I was saying I don't agree with that sister, I don't agree with Michaela on the politics and the things that can fix the Black community. Like with Candace Owens, things I don't agree, but there's some things I can agree. But what I can say is this: I'm not going to vote. I'm not a Black person that believes in voting. But in a perfect world, let's just say Black people have their own political parties. Black people have a lot of different things we believe in and we live by. You got Black people in the conscious community, Pan-Africanism, you got Israelites, you got Islam, you got Black people in a lot of different things, right? Why don't instead of just Democrat and Republican, we make parties geared to those things? And then we weigh which ones will benefit Black people the most. What would benefit us morally, spiritually, financially? Really not financially, because if the other ones work, we won't have to worry about where food comes from and all of that and how we eat. But really, morally and ethically, right? What's going to benefit us the most? When you talk about our morals, when you talk about how we carry ourselves, how we sexualize our people, how we sell drugs, how we think it's okay. What is going to get us to be on the right track and be good, decent people again? And then just compare them and see what produces that. That's where we should be at. That's where we should go with who's your next candidate or what party you're a part of. I'm a part of the party that teaches history, that gives my people a sense of self-worth, purpose makes them, more importantly, righteous, moral people. And I would stand with that. But I guess that's just wishful thinking, though. That's wishful thinking. Because if it's something that I stand on, like what I stand on, I'm sure that I can stand on that against any philosophy because of what I've seen it produce. Like if you can get people off of drugs, if you can stop a brother that wants to unalive one of his old enemies, he sees him and he calls you, and you're able to stop that. If you can get a woman from, off of a stripper pole, if you can get a person from being addicted to drugs, if you can get a person from going from a kleptomaniac to not ever taking anything from anyone else again, then that is where I want to be. That's the philosophy, the thought process, the party that I would stand with in a perfect world. You know what I'm saying? If you can't do that, if I can prevent somebody from coming into my community and snatching my daughters off the street, snatching my sisters, grown women off the street, then that's the party I would vote for. If it was a party that could stop the problem of police brutality, stop Sonia Massey from happening, then that would be the party that I would align myself with. But none of them can do that. All right. All right, y'all. I'm up out of here. You say Black Rain. Hey, the water to you. Good looking out. Appreciate that. You stay safe also. See y'all later. All right, I'm up out of here. Make sure y'all go to that store. I got them shirts, Black Authentic shirts. I'm going to continue to make new designs. I'm going to bring it. I'm definitely going to have something that the sisters are going to like, especially if you conscious minded. You just want something a little different that speaks to how you feel about your people. I'm definitely going to get that. All right. And with that, I'm up out of here. Let me see. One more comment. Let me see. And with that, I'll be trying to time this so good. But sometimes you just got to be real. So, Black people, we don't be on time, or timing don't be right sometimes. So with that, this is Black Authentic Truth. All right.